let's go back. You talked about Gilbert and Bennett. So what do you think that the town should do? Try and preserve it? Sell it? What are your thoughts on that and some of the other historical properties?
Yeah, so I think that touches on a much bigger topic, I'll say. It's interesting because when I talk to people and I look at Facebook, the biggest concerns about Wilton are the bigger issues. Like, what about Merwin Meadows? Why can't I swim What about Gilbert and Bennett? What about Ambler Farm? It's not this IT $50,000 PO didn't get properly approved. That's not it's and like I said, that's very important. I don't want it, but that's just sort of it's like a table stake. That should be addressed. That shouldn't be an issue. It's these bigger issues that we need to think about. And it ties in a little bit to the Jared's question on the 150 million. It's kind of, what do we want to do? Where are we at with Wilton and where do we see the future? And let's go do it. Housing, one of the questions I think Patch, you probably see the Patch, one of their questions is what's the biggest issue facing, our residents? And I thought about that. And it was the other day, it was a beautiful day, gorgeous Connecticut. And I thought the biggest issues facing me have nothing to do with Wilton. Like, I mean, really, what issues do we really have? Sure, we have these things that we'd like to address, but we live in a beautiful town, great state. We have all these things going for us. It's almost like focus. Why are we focusing on the negative, right? Let's focus on the positive. But so what I mean by that is housing is probably the number one issue that can and probably will affect Wilton. And the question is, do we take control of it? Or does the state? I'm sure you've seen HB 5002 with the housing bill dramatically changes, takes away a lot of the oversight that our local planning and zoning does, forces down, multifamily, different things. So affordable housing is an issue that I think needs to be addressed in the town because it's going to happen whether we do it or not. And so I think getting in front of it is something we need to do. So Gilbert and Bennett, how it ties in. Something like Gilbert and Bennett, the two properties next. I mean, it's a beautiful property. Everyone loves Gilbert and Bennett. People are saying we need to save it. I mean, I think we should think about a plan to use Gilbert and Bennett. I think New Canaan had a similar situation in its affordable senior housing, right? They got grants, did a lot of things for affordable. I think it was $4 million to bring Gilbert and Bennett, up to code per se. Again, if we put in our budget and we do the math, they're not huge numbers. It's doable if, as a town, that's what we want to do. When we talk about housing and affordable housing, Ridgefield has a housing authority, New Canaan has a housing authority, Wilton doesn't, right? Developers in Ridgefield are charged fees for the housing authority for their projects. We don't have anything like that, right? Connecticut doesn't allow impact fees. So we have a builder that builds a big facility. We can't charge them fees to upgrade the infrastructure that's caused by their development. A lot of other states you can, but we can have a housing authority increase our permit fees, charge other fees to allow us to then have funds for affordable housing. So there are a lot of different things that we can do, and I think we need to do that. And Gilbert and Bennett is a perfect example in my mind.